So all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth, where I'm still learning this truth. And shalom also to the other sincere followers of this truth. All right, today is going to be a continuance of the series that we're in, Teach Exactly What You Were Taught, with the topic being, why were we made subject to vanity and sin? All right, this is going to be the fourth video in this series. All right, so we're going to start out in the Apocrypha. Okay, we're going to start out in the Apocrypha in Second Esdras chapter 7 and verse 46. All right, and it reads, hold on. All right, and it reads, I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else when it was given to him, or when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. Right? Because people have their thoughts on what they would do if they were the Most High. All right, we went over that, and his ways are higher than ours, though. All right, far beyond ours. All right, his ways and his thoughts. But some people would say this, that, what did it just say? Second Esdras chapter 7, verse 46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam. So why even give the earth to Adam, right? Don't even give it to him if you know that all this is going to happen. All right, people always think that way. Or else, when it was given to him, to have restrained him from sinning. Right? The Lord could have done all this, but he chose to do it this way. All right, like again, refer to Isaiah 55 and 8. That is the simple answer. All right, but considering the second Esdras, when second Esdras is read, we see many questions that we have. Even he, Ezra, all right, struggled with certain concepts and asked many questions. He was in a position where he seen his people in a low state and asked why. All right, so it's natural to ask why. All right, but don't get stuck on the small whys, these petty whys that are floating around the earth. Okay. So now let's go to Second Esdras chapter 6. Actually, let me read that in the Good News. Let's go to Second Esdras. Hold on a minute now. Second Esdras chapter 7 and verse 46 in the Good News. All right, it reads, but what about those for whom, hold on. But what about those for whom I have been praying? There is no one in the present generation who has not sinned, no one who has not broken your covenant. All right, hold on now. Am I in the right damn place? Hold on. Yeah, Second Ezra 7:46 in the Good News. All right. Let me read that again. But what about those? But what about those for whom I have been praying? There is no one in the present generation who has not sinned, no one who has not broken your covenant. All right. Let me make sure. All right, yeah, that is it in the Good News. But let's go to Second Esdras now. Let's go to chapter 6 and uh, let's read verses 54 through 59. Second Esdras. Hold on, is that the problem? Yeah, Second Esdras chapter 6, 54 through 59. And it reads, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us, and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. Verse 59, if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? All right. So, according to the scriptures, according to the vision given to Daniel, this will endure until the end, until the extension of the fourth beast is destroyed, which is Babylon the Great, all right? AKA, or BKA, America, AKA the future site of the lake of fire, all right? Because it is through Adam that we are in bondage to the flesh, through Solomon that we are in bondage through these various captivities, Babylon the Great is also the final rulership of these heathen and the final captivity of the Israelites. We have been awakened to acknowledge our offense, repent, and to the best of our ability to walk in the ways of Yahushua. All right, to walk in the Spirit. All right, to walk in faith and hope, because this is what we have been subjected to ultimately. All right, the title of the video is Why Were We Subjected to Vanity and Sin? But ultimately, we are subjected to faith and hope. Okay, that is really what we are subjected to, because this is what we have been. This was a story from the beginning for us to be subjected to faith and hope. That we had to fall. All right, we had to be subjected to hope from faith. The Lord could have easily just gave it to us, but the way He has written all things is the way all things will play out. All right, the only simple answer is Isaiah 55 and 8. The not so simple answers can bug you out if you are not founded in the truth, if you don't have a strong foundation. All right, let me read that again in the Good News Translation. That's Second Esdras chapter 6, 54 through 59. All right. It reads, more important than all of these, you created Adam and put him in charge of everything that you had made, and all of us, the people you have chosen, are descended from him. O Lord, I have told you all this because you said that you created this first world for the sake of your people. You said that, in spite of their great numbers, all the other nations which descended from Adam are nothing, worth no more than a drop of water, no more than spit. But now, Lord, those nations that are considered as nothing are ruling over us and destroying us. We are your people, And you have called us your firstborn, your only child, your witness, your loved one. But we have been handed over to the power of these other nations. All right. Verse 59. If this world was really created for the sake of your people, why don't we have possession of it? How much longer must we wait? All right. So these questions back then, even back then, are asked now. All right. So it's not an off thing to ask these things. All right. But after you ask, you have to listen for the understanding. All right. Because he did put the understanding down here for us to get. Again, the only simple answer is Isaiah 55 and 8. The not so simple answers can bug you out if you are not founded in the truth. Get foundation. Okay. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 3, verse 21 through 24. All right. Sirach is also, remember, Sirach is also the book of Ecclesiasticus. We're going to chapter 3, verses 21 through 24. All right, now listen up. It says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are too above thy strength. So, what I meant by don't ask why is don't worry about someone else's salvation. Okay? Don't worry about their walk. Worry about your own. Don't get caught up in what someone else is doing to the point to where you halt your walk and your search for your foundation. All right? Verse 22. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence. All right? So people talking about the law doesn't exist, they don't want to think about the law. But you're supposed to think about these things, the things that you are commanded with reverence. All right, I'm going to start again at verse 22. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 22. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. All right? So, men always let their own vain opinions throw them or take them. If you start looking for your own glory, all right, if you start preaching toward your own glory or making yourself glorious, excuse me, you're going to get lost. It is not about you, all right? It is about the Lord, all right? And since it is about the Lord, it is his laws that guides this world, okay? His law is guidance, all right? His way is guidance. Now let me look that up again in Ecclesiasticus, book of Sirach and the Good News, chapter 3, verses 21 through 24. All right, and it reads, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verses 21 through 24 in the Good News translation. Don't try to understand things that are too hard for you, or investigate matters that are beyond your power to know. Concentrate on the law, which has been given to you. You do not need to know about things which the Lord has not revealed, so don't concern yourself with them. After all, what has been shown to you is beyond human power to understand. Many people have been misled by their own opinions. Their wrong ideas have warped their judgment. All right. Now, there were some scriptures in the 1611 that were referenced from that. Let's go see what they are. It is Proverbs 25 and 27. All right, I have that pulled up in the. All right, here we go. Proverbs 25 and 27 in the King James Version. It reads, "It is not good to eat much honey. So for men to search their own glory is not glory." All right, so don't do that. Your own opinion. Don't do that, man. Don't don't take this and do what the other nations did to this. They heard about the Lord, all right, and they wrapped their own stories around the things that they heard, and they've grown. These lies, these rumors, they've all grown into another monster these days. All right, people can't stop. They can't come out of the mindset of the lies that were wrapped around the truth. Okay, now they hear the truth and they look strange when they hear the truth. So again, in the NLT, all right, Proverbs 25 and 25 and 27, is it? It is not good to eat too much honey, things that are sweet to you, all right? And it's not good to seek honors for yourself. Basically the same thing. All right, let's see what it says in the good news. Proverbs 25. If you think about it, it starts building pride, man. If you start doing that type of stuff, looking after your own opinion instead of going by what the scriptures say, that builds pride, doesn't it? Proverbs 25 and 27. Too much honey in the good news, all right? Too much honey is bad for you, and so is trying to win too much praise. It sounds just like this world, man. This world, people of this world. Monkey see, monkey do going on everywhere. All right? Motherfuckers walking around trying to be the biggest monkey. All right? Quit doing that shit. We aren't of this world, man. So we have to stop acting like it. Stop being worldly. Okay? Stop doing what these people do. If you're popular, watch out. All right? If you're famous, watch out. All right? If you're searching for fame, all right, and that's what you hold to, watch out. If you searching for fame because somebody else, you see they search for fame and they are successful in this world, and you want to tailor yourself after them, watch out. These scriptures are what you should be going after, all right? The things that are told to you, think thereupon with reverence, all right? Paraphrasing what we just read. Okay? So the fact that we are here and that this is a condition of the battle is really what the focus should be on. Get yourself right. All right, quit searching for fame and glory, your own fame and glory, and quit using these scriptures to search for yourself fame and glory. Okay? All right, let's see what's next. What we got next? Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more. It's only been 20 minutes. All right, so now we're gonna go to back again to uh, Second Ezra 7 and 46 again. All right. All right, Second Ezra 7 and 46. It says, "I answered then and said, This is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given to him, to have restrained him from sinning. All right. So we can come up with however many opinions we want on how we would have done things if we were the Lord. All right. But this is his doing. If you don't like it, you can take it up with him on the last day. All right. If you really feeling that froggy. All right. But this is his. You are a part of his story. All you are a piece of clay. Okay. In his story. You are blessed enough that he even molded you. And I'm speaking to Israelites. All right. Figure out what part you are playing in the story. Go filter yourself through these scriptures, like I always say, and see what path you want. If you're on that wrong path, you best turn. You better repent, acknowledge your sins, repent, and start walking on this path. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. But you ain't gonna be able to do it unless the Lord chose you. All right. So again, 2nd Ezra 7:46 that we just read goes back to Genesis 3:17. Now, what did it say back here? Let's go look. Genesis 3 and verse 17. All right, and it reads, "And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life." All right. So this speaks of a philosophy. All right. This is history, and this fall did not happen in one day. It took time. All right. Adam was ruling as a king and priest. He was naming the animals. All right. All of that stuff. Adam was at the forefront of creation, the one giving the order that would guide paradise to be kept. The garden east in Eden is Jerusalem, all right, which we know is where the temple was built. All right, so Eve listens to the serpent and eats of his philosophy. Adam follows her lead, which began the fall. Okay, let's read that Genesis 3:17 again in the NLT. Let me put this down for a second. All right, Genesis 3 and verse 17. In the NLT, it reads, "And to the man he said, Since you listened to your wife and ate from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat, the ground is cursed because of you. All your life you will struggle to scratch a living from it." What does that sound like, man? All your life you will make a living. You will. Wow. Let's see what that says in the Good News. Genesis 3:17 in the Good News translation. All right, and it reads, "And he said to the man, You listened to your wife and ate the fruit which I told you not to eat. Because of what you have done, the ground will be under a curse. You will have to work hard all your life to make it produce enough food for you." All right, and I just want to check something really quick in this 16:11. Okay. All right, Genesis 3:17. Let's see. All right. So again, Eve listens to the serpent and eats of his philosophy. All right, that's what that fruit represents. His philosophy. All right. Uh, Eve ate from his philosophy. Adam follows her lead, which begins the fall. All right, let's go to Second Ezra 3:7. Second Ezra chapter 3. All right, in verse 7. And it reads, and unto him, Adam, all right, thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed. And immediately thou appointest death in him, and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. Okay? So all of this, all of this was planned out. All right? All of this was planned out. And let's see what that says in the good news. Second Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 3 and verse 7. Right? Here. I was actually supposed to read 6. Let me go back and read 6, man. All right, verse 6. Second Ezra chapter 3, verse 6. It says, and thou leddest him into paradise, speaking of Adam, right? Which thy right hand had planted. What does he mean by the right hand had planted? Anyway, and now lead, I'm going to read that again. Second Ezra chapter 3, verse 6. And thou leddest him, Adam, all right, into paradise, which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forward. So all of this was planned. Again, once again, all of this was planned. Let's see the good news. Second Ezra chapter 3 and verse 6. You brought him into the garden of Eden, which you yourself had planted before the earth was made. All right. Verse 7 in the Good News Translation. You gave him just one commandment, but he disobeyed it. And you immediately made him and his descendants subject to death. All right. From Adam were born more nations, tribes, clans, and families than can be counted. All right. So the breath of life that was given to Adam were the commandments. All right. Like I said, these commandments give life. They don't take life away. They give life. So the breath that he gave Adam were commandments. And actually, what are commandments? The laws. All right. Order. Okay. And what was that curse? We will be destroyed. Destroyed goes back to the word destructured. So the order was taken away. We are all out of order. So them preachers that tell you that the law is dead aren't helping. All right. The preachers that tell you that you are saved already aren't helping. Okay. So you have to look at this in the big picture. We are still falling. All the way until the Lord comes back, we are still falling. Now we are awakening. All right. But the fall is still in progress. Okay. The fall is still in progress. When we reach, as a matter of fact, the new covenant isn't fully realized until the kingdom of heaven is here. We're getting a taste of it through these scriptures. We're getting a taste of it. Okay, and also we aren't. Do you know that a lot of sins that we do are you can be put to death right away, right? We were in the old covenant, right? Put to death right away. The Lord can just take you right away. Okay? So we are in the grace period. Okay? We are in this grace period. So again, the breath of life that was given to Adam were the commandments. All right? So now let's go to uh man, I want to check this so bad. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna check this, man. I gotta check this. Let me look in here really quick. Let's see. Where were we? Second Esdras 7. Second Esdras chapter 7. Excuse me, chapter 3. Again, I didn't say that at the beginning, but again, it is another beautiful day. Another opportunity to tell the truth, all right? And to walk in this path as best as we can, to the best of our ability, all right? Everyone else who doesn't believe that we are to try these, we are to do these things to the best of our ability, all right, that the laws are dead, you can go ahead and keep believing it, all right? You can go ahead and keep believing it. This isn't for you, like I said before. Live your life. I'm going to tell you why you keep arguing about it, though. Because you know it's not true. It's why you want to sit up and argue with somebody about this. All right? You know that that's not true, and you know that the path that you are walking is leading to death. You just want to take somebody with you, man. The Lord put a spirit on you that wants men devoured, that wants men to eat a missile because that's what it's hungry for. That's what you're going to eat, but it wants to share that missile with someone else. All right? What am I looking for? Second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 3. Why did it take me back to all right, anyway, Second Esdras chapter 3 verses let me see, 6 and 7 is where we were. All right, I'm gonna keep this here because we're about to go to verses. This is chapter 3, and we're gonna go now to, this is still Second Esdras. All right, we're staying in chapter 3, and we're gonna read verses 8 through 10 now. All right. All right, here it is. And it says, and every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments. When people hear that word wonderful, they think of good shit all the time, but it's not always good shit. It's wonderful. Like people look at you like, I wonder what the hell kind of spirit he got on him. Anyway, so verse 8 again, Second Esdras chapter 3, verse 8. And every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. Sounds like today, doesn't it? Everything happens over and over. Verse 9, and again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwell in the world, and destroyest them. All right, another flood is coming. A flood of flames, a flood of missiles, a flood of blood, a flood of plagues. It's bad shit, man. You're gonna be knee deep in the shit. All right, that's taken from I forget the name of that movie, man. Anyway, so verse 10, Second Esdras, chapter 3, verse 10. And it came to pass in every in and it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. All right, so Adam's descendants went off. All right, they're still going off. Anyway, Adam's descendants went off the same way Adam did. All right, his fall started a legacy of failure of the flesh. Okay, and guess what? Since we are living, or were, for some of us were, all right, since 2/3 of the Israelites are still living in the failure of the flesh, guess what? They're raising up their sons and daughters to do the same. And they are going to be even more blinded to it. All right. Their kids are going to be even more blinded to it, probably. I'm not saying more. I'm just saying that they are also in that legacy of failure. Okay. Failure of the flesh. Okay. Um. So now, that was Second Ezra chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Second Ezra 3, 8 through 10. Now let's go to Genesis 6 and 12 really quick. There's gonna be a lot of reading, man, in this series. What did I say? Genesis. Now listen up. This goes for Second Ezra 3 and 8, which was, and every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments. That goes to Genesis. That goes back to Genesis 6 and 12. Let's see what that says. It reads, and God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. All right. Now, for verse 9, 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 9, it says, and again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world and destroyedest them. All right. And that goes to Genesis 7 and 10. Let's see what that says. All right. And it reads, and it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. The waters came just like the Lord said they would. All right. Just like these flames are going to come because the Lord said they are going to. All right. And I want to read every translation with every verse, but it's all right. You know what? I'm going to do that. And then we'll close out with one more verse. But let me go back to, let me read that Genesis in the NLT. All right. What was the first one? Genesis 3 and, hold on now. No, excuse me. Genesis 6 and 12. In the NLT. All right, reads, God observed all this corruption in the world, for everyone on earth was corrupt. Man, let me read the one after. It says, God said to Noah, I have decided to destroy all living creatures, for they have filled the earth with violence. Yes, I will wipe them all out along with the earth. All right. Now, let's see. Genesis chapter 7 and verse, what was it, 10? Let me see. Yeah, it says after, this is in the NLT, Genesis 7 and 10. After 7 days, the waters of the flood came and covered the earth. Because what? Everything he says is faithful and true. Okay? Now, guess what I'm about to do? Good news. Genesis 6 and yeah, 6 and 12. I just wanted to be sure, man. Genesis 6 and 12. In the Good News translation. It says God looked in the Good News translation. It says God looked at the world and saw that it was evil. For the people were all living evil lives, doing what the hell y'all want to do. Doing what you want to do. And then again, Genesis 7 and 10, it says 7 days later, the flood came. And the good news is got straight to it. 7 days later, the flood came. All right. So again, Adam's descendants went off the same way Adam did. All right. Not listening to the Lord, listening to his wife, his closest. All right. Listening to her. Went against the Lord, fell. All right. His fall started a legacy of failure of the flesh. Now let's go ahead and get this one more scripture. Okay. Speaking to Adam falling and his descendants also. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Let's see. Wisdom of Solomon. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. We're going to read verses 23 through 24. All right. I hope I'm not losing anyone. Okay. I hope y'all keeping up with this. And if not, you can always rewind. All right. Don't think you have to listen to this and keep going. You can always rewind. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, 23 through 24. All right. And it says, "For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it." You keep holding on to this world, you gonna find it. Like that. That's a guarantee. A guarantee. You gonna find it. All right. Let's read that again in the good news. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, 23 and 24. It says, "When God created us, he did not intend for us to die. He made us like himself. It was the devil's jealousy that brought death into the world, and those who belong to the devil are the ones who will die." All right? It's that simple. It's that simple. Now let me see if it points to any other uh, scriptures in the Bible when it comes to those two verses that we read right there. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And it does. All right. So we're going to read all of these, and then we'll that'll be the end of part 4. All right. Lord willing, we're going to read all of these. All right. Anything could happen at any time. All right. So again, Wisdom of Solomon, verses 23 and 24. What do they point to? All right. I'm gonna read them again, and then we'll go to the pursuant to the verses that they point to. All right. Again, Wisdom of Solomon, and I'll just read them out of the King James. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, 23. It reads, "For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity." All right. Now it's saying, let's go to Genesis 1, 26 and 27. Let's see what it says, man. Genesis 26. Excuse me, Genesis 1, 26 and 27. Hold on. Genesis chapter 1, 26 and 27. The heading says, "Creation of man in the image of God." All right. And it says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. All right? Let's read that again in the NLT. Genesis 1, 26 and 27. Yeah. In the NLT, Genesis 1, verses 26 and 27. It says, Then God said, Let us make human beings in our image, to be like us. They will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, all the wild animals on earth, and the small animals that scurry along the ground. So God created human beings. They always say that shit. In his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. He created them. All right, let me look at something really quick. All right, it says Hebrew reads Adam. All right, so and what did I say about Adam? Adam was given the breath of life. All right, there were people on this planet before Adam. Okay, but Adam was given the breath, the laws. All right, the statutes, the commandments. Okay, he was given the statutes and commandments. All right, so which are laws really, they weren't written though. Okay, so let's read that again in the Good News. Genesis 1. This is just pointing to the Lord created us to be like him. That's why he gave us order, but we chose not to follow it. All right, but it was written though, you know what I mean? All right, so Genesis 1, 26 and 27 in the Good News, it reads, Then God said, And now we will make human beings. They will be like us and resemble us. They will have power over the fish, the birds, and all animals, domestic and wild, large and small. Verse 27. So God created human beings, making them to be like himself. He created them, male and female. All right. Okay. So they shaky on specifying it was not all for, it's not for all human beings to be immortal. All right. In this day, it's for Israelites. Okay. Now let's read. Where were we? Okay. Now as far as now let's go to Genesis 5 and 1. Okay, Genesis chapter 5 and verse 1. In the King James, it reads, This is the book of the generations of Adam, in the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. All right. Is that the only? Yeah. In the NLT, it says, This is the written account of the descendants of Adam when God created human beings. He made them to be like himself. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and called them, it says human, called them Adam. All right, that's what it should say. These other translations are messing around now. The Good News, Genesis 5 and 1. All right, it says, The descendants of Adam is the heading. All right. It says, this is the list of the descendants of Adam. When God created human beings, he made them like himself. All right. Let me see where this is going. Hold on. All right. Hold on a second. All right. Now listen. This goes to the point what I was trying to tell you about talking about Israelites. All right. Because it's going to follow a genealogy to get to the Israelites. All right. After Adam went off, okay, it kept track of one bloodline. I mean, all the bloodlines are in here, but it takes you from Adam all the way to, to Yahushai. Well, Adam, and then Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and that bloodline right there. Okay, so you have to be a part of all of those three: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Okay. Uh, where else was I going? Hold on. So, like I said, you guys are growing with me. This is how I do this. I read and go through, search these other ones just to see if they are on point or not, or to even see if they go when they go off. That teaches you. That helps you grow. Uh, Now let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 17 and verse 3. Okay. Hold on, man. Did I say 17? Hold on, man. Hold on. Ecclesiasticus 17 and 3. All right, it reads, he endued them with strength by themselves and made them according to his image. All right. He's still talking about how the Lord made us in his image. All right, so all of this was planned out, man. I hope y'all seeing that part, all right? Ecclesiasticus. Sirach 17 and 3. He made them in the Good News translation. He made them to be like himself and gave them his own strength. All right. So we got one more verse. All right. Verse 24. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse 24. Okay. Let me go in here. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24. It reads, Nevertheless, through the envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. If you hold on to the devil and do his devil and hold on to his devilish ways, you are going to find death. All right, Genesis 3 and 12. That's where it takes us. Don't worry, this is going to be it. Genesis 3 and 12 reads, And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. All right. Okay. Genesis 3 and 12. All right. He held on. He grabbed a hold of what the devil taught, and he did take of it. All right. And one more. Let's do the NLT. See what it says in NLT. Hold on. Man. All right. 3 and 12 in the NLT, it says, The man replied, It was the woman you gave me. No, I'll do 11 and 12. It says, Who told you that you were naked? The Lord God asked. Have you eaten from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat? Have you taken this philosophy from this part and ate of it? The man replied, It was the woman you gave me who gave me the fruit, and I ate it. All right. So you can see Adam took hold of what the woman took hold of, which was that fruit, that bad philosophy. All right. Something outside of what the Lord told them to do. Okay. And it brought death. It brought death. So we'll go back into this. We're not done with this topic. We're not done with this topic at all. So we're definitely not done with this. We'll come back and do stay on this topic, Lord willing. All right, in the next video. But with that, this was part 4 of why were we made subject to vanity and sin. All right. This time we touched on Adam starting his fall through taking on the philosophy of the devil, but the Lord knew about this. Nothing surprises the Lord. All right. He wrote all of this for it to be this way. He wrote all of this for you to learn. All right, as an example, from the beginning up until now, and everything is happening over and over. So it should be easy to see that walking outside of the Lord's ways are going to lead you to death. All right. So all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaQuadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I'm still learning this truth. Shalom to the other sincere followers of this truth. All right, see you next time. Lord willing. Shalom.